Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing of this thing right here, the Ninja Foodi Power Mixer System. What is it? You're about to find out. So you ready? Let's get into this. Alright, let's check out this box. This is a pretty cool little thing. Basically what you have is an immersion blender that has a second attachment here to make it a hand blender. I've always liked that kind of stuff because it eliminates one thing out of your kitchen that you don't need. The real question is, can it do both of those things well enough to replace both of those devices? Looks like it has a variable speed control. It's got smart torque, meaning it could compensate for thick and hard materials by turning up the power to maintain the same rotational speed. Here's some examples of some stuff you can make. Very cool. Here's a picture of everything you get in the box. Here's the base with the immersion blender attachment. You got a blending cup here that comes along with it, a wire whisk, and right here you can see the same handle here attached to the hand blender attachment as well. Pretty nice looking actually. Here's a couple of pictures of somebody with a terrible apron using each one of those modes. And down here we got more stuff that this thing can do, which honestly is the same stuff that any mixer and immersion blender would do. So nothing really special about that. It's got 750 watts peak power. Remember, that's peak, that's not sustained. The sustained power is going to be somewhat lower than that. Here's a breakdown of all the components. 3-cup blending vessel. The blending vessel lid. Something just sounds weird about calling it a vessel. Here you got your motor base, your immersion blender attachment, the wire whisk, the beaters, and the hand mixer attachment. Okay, let's get this opened up. Here's the contents of the box, but we're not going to go through that again because we just talked about that a second ago. Alright, what do we got here? Inside lids. Ninja does this on every single box that they package. I'll tell you what, they are definitely consistent. On this side, you got some instructions on how to register your product, along with all over the social media. Right here, you have some accessories that you can buy from Ninja's store that go with this. This is the 3-cup blending vessel that does come with the machine. But you can see right here, they've got a 4-cup version as well with a handle. Right here, there's a 3-cup power chopper, and that's sort of nice, especially if you don't have a full-size blender. And right here, you got some dough hooks, which will come in awfully handy because if you're making dough, you're probably not going to want to use the beaters. Let's open this up. And what do we got in the baggie? Let's see. You got your safety instructions here, which unfortunately nobody ever reads. But on the back, it does say that the power is 650 watts. Remember before I said 750 watts peak? Well, this is 650 watts sustained, so this is actually the much more important number. Anyway, we'll never see this again. Got a quick start guide here. You've got a quick rundown of all the parts, how to use the controls very quickly, and also a little bit of instructions for some of the accessories that don't come in the box. That's a little bit on the sneaky side actually, but who am I to judge? Ninja always says their plastic stuff is dishwasher safe, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care what they say, eventually that dishwasher is going to turn the thing cloudy. It may not be today or tomorrow, but it's going to happen. Just hand wash it, it's going to be so much better that way anyway. And that's it for that. Right here, you've got one of my favorite things that comes in pretty much every Ninja product. This is a recipe book, and this is a little something that every other small appliance manufacturer could take notes from. This contains tons and tons of recipes and full color, really great pictures like this that'll teach you exactly what you gotta do with this machine to get the results on this page. It's a really nice thing that Ninja always includes these in the box, and I recommend you put this in a drawer along with the ones from your other Ninja products if you own those, and don't lose these. This is something you're gonna come back to again and again and again. And you know what? A lot of these recipes really are delicious. I mean, look at that souffle pancake. Anyway, enough of that. Get this out of the way. Right here, we have the 2 beater attachments. Here is the wire whisk attachment. Take this out right here. Right here, this is the immersion blender attachment. It's got this little cardboard here to protect you from the blades on this because they're definitely going to be sharp. And there that goes. This is actually pretty nice and wide. Looking nice. Really looking nice. The fact that this is so wide here at the bottom makes me believe that this is designed to be able to be stood up like that. That's something we'll have to test in a second here. Okay, right here, this is the blending vessel. Right here you might be able to see the cups and ounces etched into the side of the cup here. And on the other side you got liters and milliliters. This top just pops on and off, and you can see this has a spout built into the side here to make it pour a little bit easier. Very cool. Okay. Next, it's like we have the mixer attachment. Kind of like this. This is pretty nice. I mean, it's all plastic and everything, but definitely it's got some quality here, that's for sure. You've got your release button right here, power button, obviously that doesn't work right now. The turbo button is probably for a little power boost. And then you have your up and down arrows, probably to change the speed up and down. Right here you can see this is where the drive unit attaches to it. Up underneath you can see where the beater attachments go. And you got a nice little Ninja logo here on the front. Alright, the last piece we got here is the actual drive unit. Alright, looks like you got a QR code here you can scan if you want to get help registering this thing. Little extra instruction on here on how to go from turbo mode to regular mode. And you got a really nice long power cable here, it appears. Alright, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time with the blending vessel, because really all it is a cup. But basically you're just using the immersion blender in it, just like that. You can see at the base of it is only a little bit wider than this thing. So these will probably work really well together because you'll be able to blend everything in it without having to move your immersion blender around a lot to collect all of the stuff. But we'll play around with this during testing and see exactly how well that actually does work. Anyway, the way this goes on is you can see your arrow here. You would just line the arrow up from the base right on it like that, and you can see it just kind of snaps on. So this is on there, and if you wanted to remove it, you would have to push these two buttons in on the side, and then you'd be able to remove that just like that. Otherwise, it's actually on there pretty good. Alright, let's plug this in and see how well this thing works. Okay, so if we just push the power button here, that is the regular speed. This is actually pretty quiet. There's not really a lock button or anything to keep it running, because when you let go of the power button, it just kind of turns off. But this is really ergonomic here, so really your hand does fit around it, and you got your index and middle fingers here that'll kind of hold these. If you want to use your turbo mode, then you would first turn this on, and then use your middle finger to push the turbo button. And you can actually just put your finger on and off here to vary the speed up and down. There's not really a variable speed dial on this or anything, so that's a little bit weird. But who knows, this turbo button might be a good replacement for that. I'm not super duper enthusiastic about that, but who knows, might still work out. In any case, this thing is a lot more quiet than I imagined it to be, because if you own any Ninja products, you know that they are typically super loud. One thing I noticed is that you've got your whisk attachment here, and typically that just goes in the end of your immersion blender, but this doesn't really have any way for that to hook up, so this must have to go on the hand blender then. Now the way this works, you just kind of hold this up this way, and again you've got your arrow here and here on the top. Just push these together and it snaps on the same way that the other thing did. If this is snapped on here, the power and turbo buttons don't actually do anything here on the base. All the control is now handled from up here. If you look on the bottom here, you can see that these are labeled differently for the two beaters. You got one that's got the extra piece on the shaft here, and you got this other one that does not. So I'm assuming if you're using your beaters, there's one goes in there, and this other one goes in here, just like that. Okay, so on this, we got several buttons. Your button up here, I was mistaken. This is an eject button for the beater, so if you push this down, they just pop right off just like that. Right here you have your on-off button, and you can see once I turn that on, the beaters start going. Then I can use it to speed controls here to make that go faster and slower. You can also see a visual representation here with the lights on how fast this is set. I'm assuming I can use the turbo button at any one of these speeds, so we'll go ahead and try that. And that just gives it a extra little bit of power. And if we're already up at the top power level here, the turbo button really doesn't do anything. So really, the turbo is only going to give you maximum power. It's not going to go anywhere past that. But you know what? Not really a bad hand mixer. Pretty light, and it's pretty ergonomic also. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks, and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. If you want to use your whisk, that would just plug into this other side right here, and you can just run that just like you normally would. Pretty good, pretty interesting. You can hear that the hand mixer attachment really is a lot louder than the stick blender. That's kind of funny because I would have thought that it would have been the other way around. Oh, one quick thing like we were talking about before. If that's just sitting there like this, since you've got that wide base here, you really could just set that aside. That's pretty stable. I mean, if you bump it with your arm or something, you can knock this over, but it will stand on its own pretty well. I mean, if you got it out of the way. So that's nice because a lot of these aren't anywhere near wide enough down here to be able to do this. So I guess that's another positive. So really, so far, just on the unboxing, the only really concern I have about this thing so far is the fact that this doesn't really have variable speed. I know the turbo button will kind of give it that, but I was kind of hoping there'd be a variable speed control on it, just like I have on my Cuisinart one. But, you know, come to think of it, usually that thing I just have cranked all the way up anyway, so maybe it's not that big a deal. Over the next few weeks, we're really going to be putting this thing through the ringer just to find out how well each of these functions work. Once we've gotten through all that testing, we'll be posting a full review. If you want some more information about the Ninja Foodi Power Mixer System, we do have an Amazon affiliate link to it down in the description of the video. If you purchase anything through those links, we do make a small commission, but it doesn't change the price that you pay 1 cent. If you like unboxing videos, you might like this video up here, which is the unboxing for our Ninja Foodi Power Blender Ultimate System. You're gonna flip out when you see how much stuff actually comes in that box. I thank you so much for hanging out and watching this video, and until next time, I'm Joe, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.